today I'm going to show you some tips and tricks for clearing Manibus faster, and in general, you can do this in silos, you can do this against bosses. As we all know, the Manibus boss fight takes quite a long time to spawn once you enter the silo. In that case, this is where we can use our sorcery tricks to kill him faster. This trick is good for veteran players as well as for beginner players. If your mods are not looking so great, you can utilize this trick to kill bosses faster. Although the only downside is that you will need to do lots of clicking, but it's worth to learn it. Once you learn it, you can pull it off anytime. Alright, so now we are in a Manibus silo, so we have no food buffs on. It's just simple meats that I have on. This doesn't really increase my damage as much, it's just 3% for marking the boss here. So no food buffs run. Basically how you want to start off with the magazine preset. And this is going to be just a quick example. So right before you go into the dungeon, you want to unequip and equip your gun and instantly go to the new silo. And once you're in, you throw 3 cubes as soon as possible. Get your axe out, right click, swap to bingo, shoot the cubes 4 times. Open inventory quickly and unequip your scar. Hold V and then swap to another preset. Hold V again, swap to another preset. For the cooker, you can right click to break the cubes. And then mark the boss 4 times or 2 times, however many times you want. And start lasering the boss down. Now, as you can see, I was too slow. The boss didn't die in 1 mag. Obviously, because we don't have food buffs. But yeah, that was pretty quick. Obviously, you want to be quicker because if you get to maintain your Fortress Warfare, you are going to do way more damage. So let's go through this again this time, but a little bit slower. So once you finish the silo, you actually want to swap back to the Mag 2 damage preset. Now for this preset over here, as you can see, we're wearing Old Huntsman shoes. And the reason why we're wearing that is because after triggering the bullseye, the next one bullet hitting a marked target will count as a weak spot hit. That synergizes together with the bingo. If you check the bingo stats, you can see that after defeating a non-meta-human unit with a weak spot hit, it will give you 15% attack for 20 seconds, which you're getting free buffs, free damage for free. Simply to showcase this, you can see that I'm going to throw an ice cube. And once you swap to bingo, you get a guaranteed mark, which then that will proc your boots, which will then guarantee a weak spot hit on the next shot. It's marked, and now we will weak spot hit. Boom. Now you can see that above my health bar here. This is the 15% attack damage multiplier. So you basically just do more damage. We have magazine capacity substats on your gun again on bingo. You don't need a mod on the axe as well. For the helmet mod, you want to actually put either work of proficiency or mag expansion. And what that will do is, the reason why we're reloading the gun before we enter the dungeon is to proc this mod. So then we reload it on 0 ammo, you get the reload speed, and that's why we're reloading the gun again to get this buff right here, critical surge. When you reload a gun on 0 ammo, you will get 50% crit damage. That's why we did it. The mod substance that you need to go for is literally just reload speed and magazine capacity, just so you can have more ammunition on your gun. And that's why we're swapping to this preset, is because, as you can see, I can reload the gun with this preset and have 56 ammo in it. Now, obviously, that's not a lot. You can have up to 100, but since 56 is enough for me, that's all I need. And as you can see, I have 1 lone wolf piece here. If I replace 2 Bastille with 1 piece of gravity and another piece of gravity, now we have 1 lone wolf, 2 Stormweaver, and 2 gravity, which now, if I reload the gun, will have 62 mag. Now, of course, all the mods on this preset, I have reload speed, not magazine capacity, again, because I have enough ammo. But if you need more ammo, then focus on magazine capacity substats. So you put that on every single mod, magazine capacity, as you can see, and then you save this as a preset. You'll have to memorize this. And every time you go into dungeon, you will start with this preset to reload your guns to full mag. 62 ammo here, 8 ammo on the bingo. The cradle for this preset, you don't really need even a cradle here. It doesn't matter, you can have nothing equipped. So that's it for this preset right here. You will want to have a tier 1 axe on the melee for this preset, non-calibrated. After that, we have another preset, which is going to be the swap preset. Let's check this preset out. We have, again, the mods do not matter on your gun, do not matter on your bingo, and the only mod you need to put is on your melee, which is going to be durable territory. What this will do is when you activate the Fortress Warfare before we swap to this preset, and when you kill the cube with the cleaver, you will get 1 second extra duration for your Fortress Warfare, so it's going to stay longer. And then you can just put like 2 rustic pieces for extra melee damage, just to make sure that you're breaking the cube with the cleaver. Make sure you calibrate it to 10 times and make sure it has heavy attack calibration on it. You can get the Rusted Blade cleaver from just killing harm on bosses and silos. The only mod you need to care about is Ferocious Charge on the shoes. What this will do is when you kill the cube, you will get 20% weapon damage damage increase for 8 seconds. And that's it for this preset. You also want to make sure you put this cradle perk over here, 50% melee damage for this preset, and that wraps up this preset. Save it over here and we're done. Then we have the damage preset. This is the last preset you swap to. So once you swap to this is for the last final cube. As you can see, we have our main scar, which is calibration fire rate on it. You can technically stick with precision, it doesn't really matter. The rapid fire rate just gives you an extra like 500 milliseconds faster kill, but if you have a good precision, use that. You'll get the both outcomes. So the mod is Shatter Them All for this one. Shrapnel damage, damage against grey ones, crit damage. You want to focus that on the gun. For the bingo, it's a different story though. You can put a vulnerability amplifier. If you put vulnerability amplifier, you have to be very quick with the kill, because once you mark, as soon as you mark, you have to start shooting because your Fortress Warfare is about to expire. So if you don't stick with vulnerability amplifier, I recommend for beginners to use a durable territory mod on your bingo. What this does is when you are in Fortress Warfare, every time you hit with a bingo, it will extend Fortress Warfare duration for 1 second. So if you shot 3 times, you will extend it by 3 seconds, which will stay longer and will let you do more damage. However, keep in mind that the cap is 5 seconds, which with the cleaver, it was 1 second, the kukri is 2 seconds, and 3 bingo shots is 5, so you'll be capped out. Use durable territory for the start. Once you get really good at it, just use vulnerability amplifier, just like I do. Then for the helmet, you want gas eye helmet. Weapon Symphony Lunar suffix. If you don't have Lunar, stick to Violent. Again, you don't need Lunar mods. Violent is enough. Damage against grey ones, weapon damage, and crit damage as the substats. For the helm. For the mask, same thing. Crit damage, grey ones, weapon damage. The main focus here should be grey ones, crit damage, and weapon damage being the last. You need to have these 3 substats, and the mod is Targeted Strike. It is the best mod. There's nothing better. I have tested this mod as well here. Unbreakable. You'll get less range for Fortress Warfare range. You get more attack 15%, and you can get 12% weak spot. You can get 20% crit damage, and you can get weapon damage from just this mod. It gives you so many substats, but still, Targeted Strike is just better because you get to crit more, and that is what the Shrapnel build needs. Then for the gloves, you want to be using Crit Boost. Honestly, it's almost the same as Crit Amplifier. With Crit Amplifier, you can get more RNG and sometimes be faster, sometimes be slower. It's very, very RNG dependent, but still for consistency purposes, just use Crit Boost or Crit Amplifier. Doesn't matter, just use what you have available with the best substats. Now for the shoes, we are using Rush Hour. Doesn't have to be Downstar. If you don't have Downstar, use Violent. It's the same thing. Downstar doesn't work on Manibus, but you still get 15% crit damage and 4.8% weapon damage, even if you don't meet the conditions. As you can see, it says increase by up to. That is just an extra on top of that base value. So Rush Hour is needed here because we're using Treacherous 3 pieces, 1, 2, 3, and 2 Lone Wolf pieces. This is the best setup. Lone Wolf or Bastel or any other setup or 3 Falcon pieces is going to be worse for this setup, so just use 3 Treacherous. You will want to use Starfall Cowhide. You can get it from the Gravity event, and if you're watching this video when the Gravity event ends, just use a Mountain Cowhide, which gives you 8% weapon damage when stamina is high. Forgot to mention that you will need 4 Rabbit Fur pieces for each armor piece. So Rabbit Fur on the helm, you will need Rabbit Fur on the gloves, that's 2. You will need Rabbit Fur on the shoes, that's 3, and then Rabbit Fur on the top piece, that's 4. What this will do, Soaring Leap, which will give you 20% weak spot damage while in midair. So as you can see, I have 95% weak spot damage. As I jump midair, I now have 115, and once I land, it's back to 95. So you just have to be constantly jumping like this. Now for the top piece, you'll want to have any mod, doesn't matter what, just have the substats as grey ones, weapon damage, crit damage. Again, it's the same thing. And if you don't have Lunar, stick to Violent. And lastly, for the pants, you'll want to have the same substats, weapon damage, crit damage, grey ones, and it has to be Deadshot. There's no better mod, Deadshot is the best one. Now that we have all the mods covered, you'll want to have the Kukri as, of course, the melee, and you want to have durable territory on the Kukri mod. Again, when you break the ice cube, it will give you Forces Warfare duration by 1 second, so it will extend it. And that is the best mod to put on your melee. There's nothing better to put. Don't bother doing anything else. This is already like most optimal way. And lastly, that's about it. For the cradle, this is what you will want to run: anti-void, anti-phase, tactical combo, deadly combo, steady hand, mark strike, invincible strike, and bounty hunter. We are not using heavy strike because you won't proc Fortress Warfare and be able to mark the boss and then swap your weapon in time before the Fortress Warfare spawns. So unless the servers are going to lag so hard that the Fortress Warfare spawns 5 minutes later, then maybe sure you can use this. But you know, in real scenario, this is not going to work. And you want to have the steady hand because while in Fortress Warfare, you will have extra 10% weapon damage and 25% weak spot damage. So free damage, why not? Now what you have to do is open the settings, go to game settings, keyboard, and then over here you want to find gear backpack and bind this to any button you want. Mine is Z, so when I open the inventory, I press Z, and as you can see, it opens the gear tab. And you press ZH, and it will bring up the presets. So ZH swap, ZH swap. This is how fast you can swap to another preset, as you can see. Press Z again to close it instantly. Now to do the SCAR reload, press Z, hover your mouse here, click, hover your mouse here, click U on your keyboard, don't move your mouse, and then click F. So quickly this will look like this. That's how you can practice it. And again, you can press Z to instantly close the menu without any delays, because if you press escape, as you can see, you go through 2 animations. Next, if you press Z, click here, click, hover your mouse on the melee and click F and instantly press Z, you are able to quickly swap between melee like this. And yeah, for the axe tech, I call this the axe cancel tech. Basically, you just throw 2 cubes like that, get your axe out, H, right click H, right click H, and then quickly swap to your cleaver, swap to your kukri, kill these things quick, and then you can start DPSing the boss. See, it's just a couple things to click. It's nothing, it's not hard at all. It's just going to be hard for those who are starting out, but once you master this and get the muscle memory going, this is going to be very, very easy. So again, 2 cubes, H, right click, H, right click, swap to this, boom, boom. And you can see when I'm swapping, I press Z, click here, F, Z, right click, and as soon as it's about to start swinging, I'm already pressing and equipping the gun again. So as you can see, I right click, and as soon as it's swinging, I just swap when it's about to hit the cube. So you can practice it without cubes. I mean, just do this over and over. Now, of course, make sure that your holster weapon keybind is whatever you like it to be. You can be your mouse button, it can be H. I like it at H, so it works well for me. Now, for the food buffs that you'll want to use, this dog sheet will be in my description as well. You can see that there is shrapnel builds here. There is overall shrapnel build, so for silos, bossing. This is the min-max one. This is Manibus presets. This is the casual presets for Manibus. This is the more try-hard way, and this is the ultimate Sweatlord preset, basically. So, ultimate Manibus setup, I call this in the sheet. And yeah, you can see the wall setup here that I explained in the video, but a little bit more summarized and easier here. Yeah, this is preset 1 for the mag and axe. This is the preset 2, the cleaver one, showing you what mods you need to put and what really matter the most. And this is the preset for the damage phase. And the armor pieces are shown here, what we are wearing for each preset. So it's just one row here, another row here, another row here. And of course, this right here is our food buffs that we're using for the fight. So you will want to use Borscht Deluxe, orange juice, hot dog, canned steak, and bland dish. This is pristine deer meat on the Borscht Deluxe, pristine deer meat on the hot dog, and pristine deer meat on the canned steak. On the orange juice, you just do normal deer meat because it's RNG how you make it. And on bland dish, you put peanuts and bear meat, which will give you 7.5% shrapnel damage bonus. Do not put deer meat because it's bugged and it just doesn't work well. So that's about it. Pristine, 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 pristine bear meat, or just a normal bear meat if you can't afford pristine, and normal deer meats. The peanut is optional, it's just for extra damage if you want. If you don't have peanuts, which is a Beastmaster exclusive, you just call your bears and let them dig peanuts for you and they get you peanuts, and then you just make food buffs with them. But yeah, all the stats are summarized in this sheet over here. You can see how many stats you have total. Like Lunar gives you 10.8 weapon damage if you are using Treacherous at 40% cap. And of course, I suggest watching this video over here to even increase your damage further, because the Lunar mods are not utilized fully and you will use only 24% crit damage if you don't optimize them, because you need to optimize the rush hour stacks from Treacherous because of the 40% HP ratio cap. You'll just basically need to lower your HP. So just watch this video for that tutorial. I'm not going to explain it in this video. We're not using crossbow because we need the bingo stack from killing the cubes, so there's no time to even use the crossbow. If you're going to be asking that, the crossbow is for presets like this and this one for the crit damage and crit rate preset. So if you want to use crossbow, just do these two presets over here. If you want to use the bingo, do this preset over here. This is the best preset, obviously, if you want to like literally hella hard on this boss and save yourself some time. If you want to do like 30-second, 28-second runs, it might take you a little bit to learn it, but in the end, you will get rewarded for it and you'll save some time. Last thing you'll need to do is you will need to lower your weight below 65. And don't worry about the weight. You can restore it by simply going to cosmetics, appearance, make the same preset of your face. So just click the plus. And once you do that, you'll basically just click on this preset, click use appearance. You won't need to use a token because the face you're using is going to be the same. So it's going to make a same copy of this face, and I can click use appearance, and it will restore my weight to my character. I'm not going to use it because obviously I want to keep the weight, and you need this weight because it will give you 10% less melee damage. That's why you will want this weight lower, so you don't accidentally kill your cubes or something. I hope you found this video helpful, and of course, if you guys enjoy my Once Human content, feel free to leave a like, comment, and sub. Join my Discord if you also care about our community, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and peace out.